Adventure game fans will no doubt remember the original Broken Sword. It introduced the world to the characters of Nico Collard and George Stobart, and it was such a commercial and critical success that it went on to spawn 3 sequels. Now, 13 years later, and given the popularity of the Wii and DS, game director Charles Cecil and illustrator Dave Gibbons are returning to the project and reimagining it as a director's cut. We went to meet the guys ahead of its March 2009 release date.
Paris in the fall, the last months of the year and the end of the millennium. The city holds many memories for me, of cafes, of music, of love, and of death.
According to Charles Cecil, the director's cut came about thanks to a group of Broken Sword fans who started an online petition, begging him to bring the series back to the Wii and the Nintendo DS. After porting the original game to the Game Boy Advance, Cecil thought it was time to reward fans with something new and different, hence the director's cut of the game. It now starts a day before that famous Parisian cafe explosion in the original game, and it fills in some of the backstory of Nico Collard, a pivotal character in the game.
I took the key. I had to leave. I knew I could never return.
To this end, Charles Cecil also drafted in Dave Gibbons to draw up some of the new storyboards for the additional content in the game. Gibbons, who is probably most famous for being the illustrator of the Watchmen series, has previously worked with Cecil and Revolution Software on cult classic video game Beneath the Steel Sky. In addition to working on the visual references for the game, Gibbons has also produced an accompanying comic book, which may or may not be shipped with the finished game. I caught up with Gibbons, currently on a promotional tour for the Watchmen movie, to ask about why he decided to return to work on a video game.
Gaming is very like comics in the kind of people you get in it, very enthusiastic people who've kind of grown up on these games and who are now doing their own. And I did a lot of work on Beneath the Steel Sky, thoroughly enjoyed it. And when Charles phoned me up about this one, with the brief basically to produce character shots with a range of expressions that could be interleaved or juxtaposed with the main screen action, I thought that sounds a really kind of challenging thing to do, and I knew that I'd enjoy it because of my involvement before.
So, is the popularity of games such as Professor Layton and Sam & Max indicating a resurgence of the adventure genre? Will the Wii and DS, with their novel control schemes, become the natural home for the modern point-and-click adventure? I put these questions and more to Charles Cecil, who has great hopes for the genre's future.
I mean, the adventure hasn't gone away, but what's happened is that people have had to, because the demand has dropped, I mean there's still hardcore fans, but the demand has dropped, that actually the budgets have had to drop. And the problem is that the adventure is quite an expensive genre to write, because instead of having a repeated gameplay mechanic that goes round and round and just gets harder, what you have is you expect to go to new locations, you expect to meet new people, have interesting dialogue, each puzzle has to be coded separately, so it is quite an undertaking.
Broken Sword, the director's cut, will be out on the Nintendo Wii and DS in March 2009. It also joins the news that Telltale Games are bringing Sam & Max and Wallace & Gromit adventure games to Xbox Live later in the year. Do you think this all means that there's a resurgence in the adventure genre, or did it ever go away in the first place? Let us know your thoughts and comments by posting on the Start Select page. We'll also be grabbing random members of the GameSpot UK office to discuss the issue at hand later in the show. But first, let's go and give away some competition prizes. We've been asking iTunes viewers to post feedback on the iTunes store, and you guys have helped us hit the #2 slot in the Games and Hobbies chart, so thank you very much. Thanks to Fuzzy Felt, who says, I'm really liking the weekly format and think the shows are coming in at just the right length, don't let them get too long. And Mike T, who said, keep up the good work, good to hear British accents. Thanks a lot guys, and remember to post more comments and we'll read out the best ones on a future show. Last week we gave you the chance to win one of 3 copies of Street Fighter 4 on the PlayStation 3. All you had to do was answer this question: what film does Jackie Chan transform into a number of the characters from Street Fighter 2 in a scene that will haunt your dreams forever? The answer was City Hunter, and we had a mountain of correct entries into our inbox. We picked the winners though, and they are Scott Vincent from Berkshire, Robert Hunter from Derby, and Jake Lambert from Heathfield. Congratulations to all you guys, we'll get your prizes out to you ASAP. This week we've teamed up with Ubisoft to offer you guys 5 copies of Broken Sword Director's Cut on the Wii. All you have to do is answer this question. Dave Gibbons has worked on another adventure game before Broken Sword, but what is the name of that game? If you think you know the answer, then send your name and address to competitions@gamespot.co.uk before the 4th of March and watch next week's show to see if you've won. Also, we want to give out a huge apology to all the people who've been waiting for their prizes to arrive. We've issued a beatdown on all the publishers involved, and we've now changed how we're organising all future competitions so that we send out the prizes. Our postman will be happy.